I don't know if you remember a while back, for those of you who've watched the channel, maybe you've watched some of the golf cart content already, I have a couple of carts. One that I redid, a yellow one, an old Club Car DS from the 80s that I restored. I've since moved that. I sold that off, and now I'm back working on that larger purple cart. Today, what I'm going to do in this one is I'm going to do a lithium conversion, or a LiFePO4 conversion. And I don't know if I'm going to call it a conversion because I don't have any regular batteries. But I'm going to convert electronics to support that. And I think this is pretty straightforward. The reason I'm doing this car's a mess. It needs a lot of work. And so why would I sort of spring for lithium batteries? Well, really, when all is said and done, given the price of lithium batteries these days, you can get them pretty inexpensive. They vary quite a bit in price. I'm sure they vary quite a bit in quality. I don't know that much about them, but I just bought the cheapest kit I could find on Amazon. So probably some crap, Chinese, whatever, but we'll see if it works. For the price I paid for this battery charger, the gauge, the voltage gauge or battery level, whatever gauge, monitor, the whole kit was about the same as I would have had to pay for new batteries, because this cart didn't come with any batteries. So I have no cores. So I'm gonna pay a core charge. It's like $18 core charge for every battery, and I gotta buy 6 of them. So there's what? That's a lot of math. 6 to 6, so 18, 6, 60, $108. I think that's right. Just in cores, and they're about 150 to 200 bucks a battery. So, now you're at, what's more math? 3, 6. Yeah, we're $1,000. Give or take. So, I mean, this was cheaper. This was $800. And so we'll see if it works. I don't know much about these things. I've never used one of these batteries before. And I've never done it in a golf cart before. So we're going to have some fun today. See if we can make this work. The other thing that's sort of uneasy about this is I actually don't know for sure this cart works, because it's never had batteries since I've owned it. I did do the rebuild of the motor and hooked a 12-volt battery up to it, and it spun. So I know that works. I don't know if the controller works. I don't know if there's any wiring issues. It looks pretty intact. I don't think there's an issue, but we're going to find out as we get into it today. But it's possible that we'll hook all this up and this cart won't work at all. So we'll figure that out if it does. Let's dive in. The first thing I want to do is figure out how to get this battery in here. It's already taken apart, the cart is, so the rear body's removed. So I've been playing around with different placement on the battery and trying to make one of these big, long batteries fit. So I'll show you what I've got going on there. Let's dive in. All right, so these batteries are quite big, right? Now they're not as big as 8 volt batteries, and they're not near as heavy. This is all the power I'm going to need for this cart versus filling this whole thing with lead acid batteries. But it's long, so it doesn't fit in these battery trays. I had it here going this way, so it's kind of sitting at an angle, and that fits. And I may end up probably doing it that way. We'll see, but it fits this way too, except I can't get it in there with the body on. So it really only fits right now because the rear body kit, is removed. I don't know if I want to do that, because then if I ever want to take it out, I got to take the whole rear body off again, because it won't come in and out past that. So I don't know yet. We'll see where I want to do it, but for now, this is where I have it sitting, because it was easier for me to work out this way with the space than have it going side to side and sliding up and down that rail. So I'm not really worried about placement for now. I just want to make sure that I get this set up and figure out if it even works. I have not even turned on this battery. I haven't charged it yet. I probably should charge it first before I do that. So I'm going to take it back out, get it hooked up on a charger, and let that go for a little bit. And then I will work on figuring out this wiring mess. All this wiring was disconnected. So figure out what's what and what I need and what I don't need, because I actually don't need all of this. That's what I'm talking about. Like, this isn't light. It's also not the heaviest thing in the world. Like, this is all the batteries. There's no way I could pick up those 6 batteries like this. Okay. All right, let's get on the cart here. I haven't even messed with this yet, so I don't see like some of these have a power button. There are certainly better batteries out there. I'm not saying I got the best one. Well, in fact, I know I didn't get the best one. I purposely bought the cheapest one. There it goes. Comes with exactly 0 instructions. Is this a cap for this? Looks like it. I don't know what those washers are for. They look like hose washers. I'm not exactly sure what that's for either. We'll see when we get there. What we got in here? There's the studs and wire covers. They give you some wires, so that was nice. These are what, 0 gauge or 2 gauge wire. I'm surprised there's no like power button on here. It's got Bluetooth capability, but it feels like, you know, something's got to be on, right? Is it just me? Am I crazy? Nothing on the bottom, right? No. It's just the 2 posts. So the charger hooks up right to the posts and then plugs in with like a regular like computer cord. So we won't need the charger cabling from inside the cart. So this would be set up as a permanent. Oh, there's a block in here. So there's this bus block that's got to be connected. So the bus block goes from the negative side of the battery in line to the cart, to the motor, whatever, to the controller. So negative battery terminal, positive battery terminal just goes right to the lead. And then there's a red wire, that must be power, to the bus block. And that goes onto one of these terminals, terminal B positive. This is B negative. Oh, got it. Goes to that connector right there. So this wire goes to the positive on the battery. So hard to tell here, but there's a little push pin right there. That wire goes in. Okay. Any battery, whatever's drawn, most current goes closest to the batteries, because the farther you get away, you get a little bit of loss, I think. So when I hook this up to the cart controller connection will go up in the bottom, then the charger, then this monitor wire. Let's hook the bus up, that way I can get the monitor on it. Hooks USB, we'll do that in a second here. Let's hook this up to here. Yep. Let's try not to drop it and break it, huh? Okay, it's the B side, not the load side. Yeah, that's why they give you extra bolts. Okay, well, the cable they give you isn't big enough. Is this got a bigger end on it? No. All right. I guess I gotta drill that out a little bigger. It won't go over that post. Which seems awfully silly. All right, let's do that. Okay, let's use a step bit here. It's just copper. Should drill pretty easy. A little hot on the hands, but there we go. Okay. So this USB goes there. This goes there. All right. 53.4 volts. It says it's fully charged. Cool. So ultimately what I'll do, all this will end up mounted inside the cart versus loose like this, obviously. And then there's a connector you can get to replace that fits in where the charging port is now, to connect like just an extension cord. And then I'll just plug this into the wall with a regular cord and charge that way. This will make this all self-contained. We'll just basically plug our cart into the wall and it will charge. And this will mount in the dash, so you can see how much battery life you've got left. But that's for later. Today we just want to get this in and get it working. So anyway, I'm gonna leave this sit for a minute just to make sure, and we'll go work on the wiring in the cart. Okay, I gotta remember where all this wiring goes. I actually unhooked most of this when I tore that motor out, but I don't remember what I did. I might have to go back and watch that video myself. This is a step down converter. Goes from the 48 volts down to 12 volts. I'm not certain that it works. It's pretty beat up. Nothing worked. When I hooked the 12 volt battery up, the lights didn't work. We're gonna work on that later. For now, we're gonna make sure that it runs. So just set that off. That's not part of this. That was just a test lead. This is the charging port. So this hooks into the body right here. We're not gonna need this. We'll end up taking that out. This is some other, it's like 12 volt or whatever wiring. It's fused link for something. Looks like it goes either front or back. We'll get a wire tracer out, see if we can figure out where these wires go. That is the negative terminal for the controller. So that'll hook to the battery. I'm gonna clean that up too. Let's see here, where's on the body is the forward reverse switch and the tow run switch. We're gonna put the body back on before we hook too much back up. That's a brake light connector. That's a brake light connector. So we've got this green, white, orange. That all connected to the motor. I thought there was another one. This red connector connects to the battery. This connects to one of these. Let's see, that one's a triangle. That connects the triangle. That makes it a lot easier. That must be what hooks up there. There's a 2-prong and a 4-prong square wire. So I want to tuck those out of the way of the battery, or just zip tie those up there. Okay. Just gotta remember where these 4 wires in the back go. Blue, orange, white, and green. And there's the F1 and 2 and A1 and 2, and I don't remember which one goes on which. So we'll get that figured out here. All right, I got the schematic. It was actually fairly easy to find online. So clean these wires up a touch. Now again, if you guys remember the last time I worked on this motor, I snapped one of these bolts off. So just snug them. I probably, once I'm done doing this and redo all this wiring, I'll put lock washers on these. That way they don't want to walk off on me, but for now, I just want to get them snug enough that I make sure they make good contact. I really wonder what that alligator clip with a 12 volt outlet is for. Is that for charging? That's weird. I don't know. Okay. Now we'll scooch it that way a little bit. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. Wiring's in the way. I'm pinching the wires down there. I don't want to do that. Actually, on a connector. There we go. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Okay. Well, that seemed like a good idea. It just wasn't. There's just not enough slack in that wire unless I can pull some from down there, but I don't think so. Okay, let's turn it this way then. So that's going to sit too high. It's going to have to come down farther, but for now I make sure to get to these connectors here. Like I said, I've got a bunch of rewiring to do. Once I'm ready to do it, we will jump off that bridge when we come to it. Put our body back on. Just close enough to get to the connectors plugged in. So this can sit here The seat mounts, like, well, it would be slid down a little bit, but it can sit just like this. I just got to figure out a way to strap it down. I might just use ratchets, like good old ratchet straps, but get my various. That's a 2-prong, that goes to that one. That is a 4-prong, that goes to that one. It's nice that these all are different connectors, so you can tell what's what. That will be the negative connection right there. Will that fit on there? Negative, it will not. Okay, gotta drill that one out too then, I guess. This is the difference between buying a good battery, I guess, and a cheap battery. Let's just get this hooked up for now. Oh yeah, the nut fell down. Son of a biscuit. Where'd you go? All right, I found it. And then let's flip that back to toe just to make sure. Let's try to lose more pieces. So leave that up there like that because the positive will go right first. Okay, let me jack this back end up, get it off the dollies. Let's hit the gas pedal, see what happens. Flip this back to run. I got the body kind of propped up here. Let me get the switch here. Switch is in, let's turn the key on. Okay, so there's reverse. We got power, we got buzzer. There's forward. Up off the ground. Okay. Back to forward. That's not good. Well, we have juice, so I know the battery's working. When I'm in reverse, the wheels spin forward. When I'm in forward, they don't spin at all. So I think I have at least a controller problem. Well, definitely a wiring problem. Well, I actually don't know. It's possible I have wires flip-flopped on the motor, so I've got the polarity backwards. The forward-reverse switch is okay. I gotta get buzzer reverse, I don't in forward. Like I said, it could just be that I got wires backwards, but the fact that I don't have any movement in the other gear, like I said, I think the switch is fine. Clearly the battery connection is fine. The solenoid's working fine because it's got juice. It is moving. I can hear it click when I put it in forward. It just doesn't move. So I almost think it's got to be the controller. But anyway, the battery works, so that's good. The conversion was successful as far as I'm concerned. Now I'm going to clean it up and get it all finished up, but so far so good. Let's dig into that controller and see if we can figure out what's going on with that. So let's get this removed. Yep. This just clicks in the back end. Yep. Put that right there for now. Okay, so I don't ruin anything. Let's turn the switch back off. Toe run switch back to toe, so we don't accidentally juice something we don't want to juice. Okay, we'll fast forward a little bit. This is a few days later. I've been messing around with this for a little while, trying to figure out. Did some attempts to troubleshoot this controller. I don't think I understand how to troubleshoot the controller because I couldn't figure it out. But I do think the controller isn't working right. So I ordered a new one. It took a little while to get it. I actually just ordered it off Amazon because that way if this doesn't work for some reason, I can just send it back. So to get this one disconnected, it's just these 4 clips here, and there's 3 bolts like this here on it that have black and yellow and green wiring connected to them. So
that should be relatively straightforward to unhook. So you got the big cable, got the small cable, orange and blue. If you're not recording this like I am, you want to take a picture of that or mark down which one went where, because I know it seems like it's just 2 wires, it'll be easy, but I forget. Let me make sure this is set to tow, so I have the battery disconnected from the controller and don't short anything out. There. All right, we'll put our new one in. Okay, so the green and yellow are on the bottom. White one was in the middle. Okay, and then orange top, blue on the bottom. There it goes. Let's get you out of the way. We'll get a jack under there and we'll lift it up, see how it works. We're wired back up. We'll flip it to run. Let's go reverse. Where's the switch here? All right, reverse, forward, boom, back to tow. All right, so everything works. Hot dog. All right, so we have a working cart, controller works, switch works, battery works. So now, put this back together, clean up our wiring, put the cover back on. I'll show you, there's a couple of wires we can delete here, specifically the charging port. So we don't need this anymore. We'll delete that, and then we will put the charger in, probably on a piece of plywood or something we'll cut out to fit in there. And got to get that battery mounted and get the battery monitor piece mounted in the dash. Now that we know it works, now I forgot to mount it. I thought about going that way with it, but I'm not sure if the wiring will make it. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna take the, I don't think I can get it in and out that way. If not, I'll put it like this. I'll have to slide it down a little ways because this is too high. This is catching, I put a board across here and it's catching the top of this so the seat won't sit flush. And all this stuff is gonna get moved anyway and put down in here into this empty space that's left behind by removing the big lead acid batteries. So, but first I'm gonna try to see if I can get it to go front to back, just because it's a cleaner setup. I want the connections in the front, not in the back, so I can get to them. So it's got to go this way. I tried this before and it was pinching wires. I didn't think it was going to work, but I also did it when I didn't know where the wires hooked up. Now that I do, I don't think it's as pinch prone. So like this, will it fit that way now? It's not on any wires anymore. Well, it's on that wire now. But that wire is going to come up around the front, so it shouldn't be on that wire. Pinch off that wire. It should sit right down in there quite nicely. It doesn't have any mounting like feet on it, so I'm going to have to, I guess, maybe fabricate something. I could put a board through here. And then, so this is too far forward. So it's got to come back a little because it will hit this stuff here. So I might need to put a bracket across the front just to keep it from sliding down. But let's just try this out, see if it fits. Hey, you know, that might actually work. One might be in business here. All right, I got this mounted in this way. Fits great. This is too short. This, I'm going to put a board down in here, but this will not reach up to the negative. It won't reach from the other side either, so it's not just because it's across. I just need a longer cable. I'd really rather put this on the driver's side because the charging port's already right here, and I can just run that cord for the built-in charger I'll put in. Although there's plenty of cord. Like this is the cord just for the charger, plus the pigtail that's on the back end of that port, the new port I'm going to put in. So there's plenty of cord. It could go anywhere. Just that there's not plenty of cord here for it to go anywhere. It's got to go within 12 inches of that negative terminal. I could just double stick tape it to the top of the battery and leave it there. I don't like it. It's got screw holes in it. I'd rather screw it down, keep it clean. So I probably will invest in a longer cable, but for now I'm just going to leave it propped up there. So we got to cut a board down here. That board will be 10 inches wide by about 15. We're going to go 14 3/4 long. So 10 by 14 3/4. Is it square or is it trapezoidal? 10. Okay. It's in a quasi-even rectangle, so that's good enough for me. I'll be back after I cut a piece of plywood. I actually have a piece of plywood sitting right over there. We'll use that. Apparently my circular saw battery was dead, so I wait for that to charge up. And while I'm waiting for that, we'll work on this wiring up front here. So I want to put this monitor box, I think, I want to put this box like right in this here. I'm going to peel this warning label off and put it there, but this second key switch is in the way. So I'm going to take this key switch out because it's not being used and see if I can move that one over here. I don't know why we didn't just use this one. Does this key not work for this one? No, that works. Those could connect together up on this switch. That would be ideal. Then I could just get rid of this one, which is what I'd rather do. Let me see if I can let's get a meter on here, see if I can get continuity on this switch. Maybe the switch itself is fine. That would be weird. Why would they replace it? Who knows? Okay. Okay, I guess that's why. Because the switch don't work. Scratch that idea. We'll take that switch out and we'll move the known good switch over. So let's pop this out. And let's see, somewhere I grabbed a socket. It's a 1-inch socket. Fits right over the nut that's on the inside of this thing. So this just pushes in and doesn't look like it's going to reuse the same hole, which is also probably why they moved it. It just clips into on the back of the plastic. This has a kind of a tunnel this goes through. Not this goes through. I had another cart that I found and picked up and pulling some parts off. So I found one that's got a seat, so I need the seat, and I found one that had this ignition switch that works. So I just went and picked that up today, just kind of a spur of the moment thing. I was trying to figure out what to do with this switch and which switch I wanted to use, and then I found this cart on Facebook yesterday and messaged him and said, yeah, can I come pick it up tomorrow? He's like, sure. So super cheap, it was like $100, and got a new ignition switch, and which is about $15 on like Amazon and stuff, so it's not like the end of the world if you have to buy one. It's not all the way in. But it's easier if it's free. Not free, but part of the package. Really, I got it for the seat. That was all I was really trying to get. I could not find a new seat reasonably priced, so I did that. Why aren't you going in? It's like not set in all the way for some reason. It's flush. It's pretty close. Close enough for me. Yep. Cool. All right. So the back to toe. All right. So ignition's done. Now we gotta cut out a space for this monitor box. I'm gonna try to overlap that existing hole so I can just clear that out of there. Peel this off. Like that. Don't need no golf etiquette, so I'm just gonna put it like right there. Just try to square it up as best I can and just overlap that hole, and we'll cut that out. Where's my chalk marker? I'm legit not trying to be perfect with this. Just close. There we go. And then we'll clean this plastic up. Not the cleanest cut I've ever done. Goes this way. Cord will go to the right, which is good because to the left I'm turning the switch. So well, not my best work. That's for sure. It's in, but it's ugly. So you know what I did? I drew the line on the outside of the box, and then I cut off the line so that line wasn't flush with the side of the box, obviously, because it's got the marker thickness, and then I cut outside that. That's the difference. It's in there and it's not going to fall out, at least not that way, but yeah, I kind of messed that up. So I will probably end up redoing that and do that much better. But for now, I just want to get it in and get it running. That's in. We'll run that USB cable underneath. We'll zip tie it off and I'll get my board cut now that my battery's charged. There's the board. Cut to fit. The battery tray in here is a little messy. I want to clean this up a little with a wire brush. Whew. All right, well, definitely should have done that outside. That was dumb. I just created a nice big dust cloud here. Good job, Ryan. Did poke through a little bit. Those screws are just a smidgen long. Let's undo that. I got longer cables. This thing is garbage. This block here, but whatever. How long is this USB cable? I should run this, make sure I've got enough. Boy, not much. So that's gonna have to go more like here to make sure I got enough cord. Get a couple screws, drive that down. Let's move this as far as we can. This cord is for the charger. That needed to be up on the negative cable. Forgot about that. I'll have to do that over again. I will probably put some wood down in this center tray as well. Not today, but probably will. Build that up so this sits on that, and then I can put something in there to ratchet strap or tie down that, just to make sure this doesn't slide around too much, because I'm going to be driving it in the yard, so around the property and stuff, so it's going to be in the grass and bumpy, and it undoubtedly will bounce around, and I don't really want it to. I will probably do something to bracket that down, but I'm good for now. Okay, so let's see, next would be the charger and this charging port. So let's get this charging port out. And let's see, this is our 12 volt, part of our 12 volt wiring. This needs to be cleaned up here. A little reverse order, least important, least draw to most draw, going from top down. So there, and the charger, then the cart. Let's get a zip tie. And again, I probably will trim this wire off once I do go back around to clean this up. It doesn't need to be this long, so I'll make it just long enough to get into that spot once I'm sure that's where I want it. This is just a trial run for this, so I'm not worried too much about perfection. At least want to get it in. Where's the charger? So that will go, I guess, this way, or maybe this way, so I can see it. There's an indicator light on the side. It might be nice to be able to see that light. I also want to leave room for a converter, step down converter that I'll eventually put in here, but not today. This way, where I can butt up against there. This cord can come out against the frame. We can just tie it off down here. And the step down converter will fit right here once I get one. I don't have one yet. The one I had for this cart's junk, doesn't work. I did that in another video. So no worries there. All right, let's mount that down. Let's go forward, not reverse. That would help. Okay, so then this connects here. All right, let's get this plug out of here. That is going to be Phillips head screws. Let's just get a Phillips screwdriver because I don't want to break anything. I think they're metal plate, yeah. Yeah, see, these would have just snapped off. I put them on a drill. Let's hold on to that. I wonder if I can reuse that part. Any chance those holes line up? Well, not exactly. Any chance any two of them line up? Let's get this doodad rotated. Well, actually, they do. Sweet. That doesn't have to fabricate a bracket, but I could just reuse the one that was on here. That's pretty handy. Is it this angle? So this will have to go at an angle. There it is. Not too tight, so we have a little bit of wiggle room. Alright, so this will plug into here, and this will plug into here. And I will get a bigger zip tie and tie those off. Now you can do this, I mean, just because I'm doing it this way, I'm not saying this is the right way to do it. Like, I'm not even trying to get it all the way done. I'm just getting it done enough where it's not going to flop around and lose stuff and run over it and trip on wires and whatnot. I'll zip tie this USB cable off underneath as well. Just tie it to the frame somewhere. This isn't my permanent setup, so don't pay too much attention to the specifics of this and be like, well, wait a minute, I'd mount it over there and I'd mount it over there. Well, good for you. Figure out what works for you, for sure. And my point is, it fits, and it can all mount inside. That's all I'm trying to show you. And actually, I'm trying to show it myself because I wasn't sure. Now everything's hooked up, back hooked up again. Let's make sure I didn't break anything. Make sure we're still a running cart. There's the key. Oh. Reverse. Forward. Cool. Obviously I need some brake work done as well. I don't have brakes. So, okay. The other thing I might do is run the monitor to the key. So when the key's off, that battery monitor is off, because right now it's on constant because it's run right to the battery. So I'll probably put in, you know, some kind of relay or something, just make sure that it's switched power, not constant power. And otherwise that thing's going to very slowly, I'm sure, but slowly drain the battery. So we should be able to unplug the charger in right here, just from the wall, with a regular extension cord. And that'll be pretty sweet. Don't have to have a separate charger. Don't be like, did I utilize the charger in this garage or the other garage? Wherever I park it, all I gotta do is plug an extension cord in and we're good to go. This is the charging cord, the charging port. It's got a fuse link, which the fuse is busted, so it wasn't gonna work anyway. I think I can just cut this because I don't need it anymore. I'm gonna tuck it back inside this loom, but I'm gonna leave some slack just in case I wasn't supposed to cut it and I need to splice it back together. But I'm pretty sure I can just cut it. So I'm gonna, obviously I have it unhooked from the tow run switch is off, just in case I would accidentally short something. That would be bad. We'll tuck it inside this. I think we're done for today. We got a running cart. It doesn't, I can't drive it yet because I don't have any brakes and I don't have any suspension in the back. One of the leaf springs is disconnected and the other one's broken. So I got more work to do, but we're gonna stop here for today. All right, we got it installed. I'm gonna call this a success. It's not a finished product. Like I said, I still have some more cleanup on this to do. There's a lot of other work to do and I'm still deciding how I want to do this. So that's what I said, I'm going to call this for today. This isn't it before I necessarily would call it done, but I'm done for today. A couple things I would say. One, the battery, and it's the battery kit. It was cheap. It was like 800 bucks. And it was the cheapest one I could find with the whole kit and that I could get in a reasonable time frame. Some of them had like a long shipping time. Would I recommend this particular battery? I don't know. I mean, I certainly don't know enough about it. I've used it all of like 47 seconds, so I don't know how long it would, you know, what's its life, how good is it long term? But mostly it's just because it's just kind of a cheap kit. Like the battery itself, there's no power switch, so it's on all the time. I would have expected some of the other ones I've seen, it seemed like they had an on-off switch. You just turn the battery off entirely. It doesn't have any mounting brackets. It didn't come with like a ratchet strap. Like there was no way to mount it. So it said it was for golf carts, but I don't know if I did it over again if I'd buy this one. There's some other pretty inexpensive options out there, and I might go with one of those. This one works fine, and it fits in the spot. There are other companies that make, like they're a little bit higher end companies, they make batteries that are sized right to fit inside these holes. So they'll fit right in the OEM battery trays, which would have been a lot nicer. But I didn't want to spend that kind of money because this is a cheap cart. So this is what I did. It's cheap and it works. It doesn't run yet. I mean, it runs, but it doesn't drive. So this whole, can't really use it just yet and see how well the battery works under load because the rear suspension is shot. Like it's the passenger side has been unbolted and the driver's side is broken. So it also has no brakes apparently, because when I had it spinning out in the air and hit the brake pedal to try to stop it, it didn't stop. So that's like no load, no inertia, no weight. It should have stopped pretty easily. Like it probably could even just grab the wheel and stop it by hand. So apparently I got some brakes to fix, which is not unusual. That's a video for another day. If you're thinking about making one of these swaps for these lithium batteries, it's not hard. It really isn't. Like I made a bigger deal out of worrying about this than it really is. So
pretty straightforward swap. I actually, it's easier to hook this up than it is the batteries. You're hooking them in serial and trying to remember which cable goes to which. Is it positive to negative? And wait, is that one battery, one and done, and a couple of wires? And really, like, even if you didn't care about the little monitor box, right, the battery monitor, and you don't want to mount that, didn't have to, right? Could have mounted it anywhere, could have mounted it inside, and you could just lift the seat and see what the battery voltage is. So it's not that big a deal, but that wasn't hard to install either. And I just didn't do a very good job, but I'll clean that up. So yeah, anyway, if it's something you're interested in doing, you see, not that hard. So hope that helps. Hope you liked it. Hope you got something out of it as always. Appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time, probably on the suspension.